Yeah,
Show's over.
That's it. That's the end of the show. Welcome in to another Titan Talk. Apologies about the intro there. Kilgan joining me once again for a sort of classic, I guess, Friday show.
A festive Friday.
Why is it festive?
I don't know.
Okay, I was just like, that's a really interesting use.
It's an alliteration, and I like alliterations.
It's a Friday, that's for sure. And what do we have to discuss today? Not a ton. I will say a couple of updates. Morgan Le Fay, her aspect has been turned on this morning.
Yeah, that turned on around 10 o'clock this morning, I believe.
Yep.
So maybe some of you have gotten a game on it already. And yeah, let me know how you're feeling about it.
Yep. Additionally, I know we had a couple of issues, boys and girls, with hotfix this week. We did put out a hotfix. Some of it didn't take for some reason, but I can confirm that everything should be working as intended as of right now.
So basically, we're training somebody new in how to do the release management stuff, right? Because it's good for more people to know how to do this stuff in case somebody's sick or whatnot. And we thought we went through the full process of releasing the hotfix, but unfortunately the Linux servers that run the game in the background were never properly deployed. Right. So because of that, all of the balance that we talked about in the last show had not actually been live until this morning.
We're just blaming the new guy.
No, not blaming the new. I'm just explaining, right?
Yeah,
it's process, right?
It's more of like transparency, if anything. Just to give people the idea of like, hey, we're aware of the issue. We know what happened. Here's the issue, and we fixed it.
Yeah, so. And so we figured out exactly what had happened this morning. We worked through it all and got everything deployed. And it was a good learning experience for the new person, right? And I think we should be good going forward. So apologies that balance didn't get out. If you were like, yeah, Axe is still OP, like all of the feedback that we've been receiving, please let us know today how it's feeling now that that balance actually rolled out this morning around 9 or 10 this morning, I believe.
And we've also got Mike Tyson, I believe, should be either enabled or being re-enabled as we speak after his little bit of a break from the game, alongside Cerberus, who also had a bit of a break because his ultimate was a little bit more potent than it should have been.
Yeah, it was throwing people a very long distance. Yep. Also, just as a known, we've gotten a few reports on some other knockback related issues. Yeah. Aphrodite knockback, her 2, RTO aspect, bear knockback. Yeah. There maybe is another one, I don't remember. We did testing, and those are affecting bots only. So if you're playing quick play, you're definitely seeing this issue. If you're playing versus AI, you're seeing this issue. But it's not happening in PvP games. So we will be fixing that with the next major update, but we probably won't be fixing those until the next major update.
See it as a buff to the bots. See it as a buff to the bots in a way. Yeah. But yeah, it will be addressed.
So apologies for that. But I figure it's worth mentioning because we talked about kind of the throw and the knockback kind of related. True. Yeah,
definitely true. We don't have much to go over today, so we will just take Q&A. I will mention real quick.
People are like, Manny looks different. His hat's backwards. That's all it is.
I did that just out of interest to see if anyone would notice anything, and straight away it was like, yeah, okay.
He's actually bald.
I know the lighting doesn't actually show his caved-in head at the front there a little bit, but
See, does that look more normal, chat? Is that better?
Normal, Manny.
Feeling less weird.
We'll showcase real quick. SMITE Prime this weekend. The Joust tournament is taking place at midday EST. So make sure you tune in this weekend to SMITE Prime. It'll be on SMITE Game and SMITE Prime, and plenty of streamers will be partaking in that too. Over 100 teams have signed up. I don't have the exact number. That number always fluctuates with game day. But make sure you tune in and check out the Joust tournament that'll be happening this weekend. A lot of people are excited for it.
Somebody says SMITE 1 is dead. Oh my God. SMITE 1 is not dead. If there is a server issue or something that our telemetry hasn't picked up, please let us know. We can take a look and restart the servers. We had that happen on Rogue Company this week, where there was a weird issue that was not picked up by our telemetry, and somebody had to let us know, and we restarted the servers, and it was fine. So if there is an issue on SMITE 1, let us know, but it shouldn't be dead. You should be able to play it if you want to. We think SMITE 2 is getting to the point where it's definitely better, but if you want to play SMITE 1, you can.
Why does Warflag not provide health or mana anymore? I just want to understand the thinking behind that change and how it helps supports, or am I looking at it the wrong way? Deacon, if you actually look at what the supports are getting now as part of their role passive, they're actually getting the same sustain that they were getting from Warflag or from Selflessness as part of their kit currently. Might be a little bit too potent, maybe in my eyes, and I'm a support player, but at the same time, that's where that passive has gone to. So realistically, you don't have to go Warbanner to get that sustain.
Not the same, says Pawn. It's nerfed.
It's been nerfed. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, it is a little bit more nerfed, but there's still plenty of sustain there. That's what I should be getting at. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we had Pawn on Wednesday, one of the things we were talking about was like, yeah, there probably is a design space for more of a tank-focused starter item that we can address more, in this world.
Yeah.
But I think that like, we're aware that that is a potential need and something we can look into. But I think that, I do believe that Warflag should still work well as a starter item for supports. I think that, obviously right now, because of the Axe meta for the past few days, it's been a very damage-focused role. But I'm curious to see how things shake out with the nerfs today.
Definitely, especially over the weekend too, as we play some more games, and we'll see how it goes on. Hey, Andrew, thoughts on low-key mid? Yeah, Mudge, I knew it was you in the mid lane, just as a heads up. I played against Mudge on Tuesday, and he battered me as Hakati versus Loki. It is what it is. I don't really get upset. It was more the Hercules that was a problem there, because he was camping me all day. But who cares? We still won, I think. And if we didn't, it felt like I did. And that's all that matters.
Another post, is SMITE 1 going to be shutting down? A lot of weird, I don't know if somebody posted something or what, but no, SMITE 1's not going to be shutting down. We have no intention to shut down SMITE 1. So a couple reasons why we're not shutting down SMITE 1. Obviously, like SMITE 2 was designed as like a successor game, not a replace and place game. And SMITE 1 is playable on older hardware that can't play SMITE 2. We're totally aware of that. Like if you're on an Xbox One, you can't play SMITE 2. If you're on a PlayStation 4, you can't play SMITE 2. And as well, if you're on like an older PC that can't run UE5 games, right? Like that upgrading to SMITE 2 and UE5 was something we knew was going to increase our system requirements to be able to run the game properly, and keeping SMITE 1 running so that people could play it we thought was important. Also, people have a lot of things that they purchased in SMITE 1 we think they should be able to continue to use if they want to keep playing SMITE 1. And similarly, there's a lot of gods that we haven't released yet in SMITE 2. And if you're if I am a Raijin main and we don't have Raijin in SMITE 2 yet, and I just want to play some Raijin, you should be able to go to SMITE 1 and do that. So I'm not sure where these questions are coming from today, but definitely don't have any plans to shut down SMITE 1. If there are any issues to SMITE 1, please let us know, and we can happily take a look.
I mean, in my mind, it's always like if people are asking about SMITE 1 issues, it's more like, I guess things are okay at the moment.
Yeah,
I just benefit, I guess.
It's weird. If I see one, it's like, okay, but having a couple from different people, it just makes me worry that like maybe there was a tweet I didn't see, or, sometimes it's like weird rumors get on the internet. And
always.
Yeah,
always.
I just wanted to mention that. There was another one that I wanted to address real quick, which was, did we see the post on the God/lobby lighting? Yes, I did see this post on Reddit. I thought it was a very good post. I forwarded it to the person who takes care of that here. Yeah. And he was like, oh yeah, I totally see this. I totally agree with it. Right now, he's working on arena performance. So we feel like that's kind of the priority, right? So we're taking a look at how we can make arena a little bit more performant. I think the vast majority of people really think the new arena looks a lot better, but performance did go down more than we had initially expected it to. Yeah. So he's taking a look at that to see how we can get it a little bit more performant. Once he's done with that, though, he might jump on the lobby lighting. That is something that he's aware of, and he thinks we could do relatively quickly.
I think that's one of the things to mention as well, is like because we're a smaller team, people jump on different projects. It's a prime example of like, yes, we do want to take care of these things, but it's one thing before the other in a lot of circumstances.
Dude, like this week has been a boondoggle for several people.
Boondoggle.
I love that word. It's a good word.
Yeah.
It's like
I heard that in a hot minute.
Yeah, it's like a side quest.
Yeah.
Where
different things.
So we found out that on Xbox right now, if you're playing on Xbox, this is a known issue. You cannot buy the Founders Editions from inside the game.
Right.
So the buttons to click on to buy your Founders Editions don't work. Okay. Right. And that is, I'm sure that people in chat are like, that doesn't sound like an important issue. But things like that are a very important issue because that impacts the amount of money that we make from players and the amount of, we need to make money to continue being a business, right? So that's like a very serious issue for us to try and fix. But it's just been like, I don't know why it's not working. So there's a lot of people that are trying to investigate that and figure out like, okay, why is this specific thing not working on Xbox? You can buy it if you go to the Xbox store. And a lot of people still are buying it by going to the Xbox store, but from in-game, it looks like you can't buy it. And it also means you can't buy the edition upgrades.
Gotcha.
Because upgrades are only available in-game. So again, just like another, it's been an issue that popped up that is a very important, we have to fix that because it's, affecting the amount of money that we can make. Yeah. And that's sidelined a couple people for a few days today.
Aren't you slowing down after 100 gods?
That's so far away from now.
That's what I was
couldn't
thinking.
Possibly tell you. I mean, I think that realistically, at some point, we're going to only have hard gods left, most likely.
True.
And we're going to have to slow down.
Yeah.
I don't know what that point is going to be. Yeah. Right.
But when we do, we'll discuss it, right?
Yeah.
And we'll make it aware to the community of like, hey, there was going to be a bit more of a slowdown because of X, Y, Z.
Yeah. And I honestly, this is just me being frank, right?
Yeah.
I am astonished that we have not had to skip a patch.
It's insane. It's
right.
As the team has like continued
yeah.
to work, and I just can't believe we've not slowed down.
Yeah, I would almost certainly expect at some point during this year, there will be a patch where we get to the patch internally and we're like, guys, this just isn't done yet.
It's not right. Yeah.
And we decide that we're going to skip a patch just to, because it's not done because we go so quickly, right?
Sure.
But like we don't have intent to slow down our current cadence right now.
Sure.
And if we ever get to the point where we feel like we need to, we would obviously discuss that with you guys. I'm Frank. Yes, thanks. Shirley, yes. Don't call me Shirley. Am I the only one, by the way, with the have you seen the new Pokemon?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, so the new Pokemon game they announced today.
Okay. Today?
Yeah, they announced it this morning.
Oh, it came out today?
No, they announced it this morning. Yeah.
Okay, I was just like, they dropped a Pokemon game today, the day of Warcraft? That's just crazy.
No, they announced it this morning.
Yeah.
And it's Wind and Waves. Thank you, chat. And there's 3 new starter Pokemon that they announced.
Always the fun.
Right?
Yep.
And I can't remember the names right now. There's like an angry bird.
Yeah.
There's
that's the leaf, the grass type, right?
Yeah. There's like this gecko that looks like
water.
Annoyed. I would say annoyed gecko would be how I would describe him. And then there's like a fluffy Pomeranian.
Okay.
And the Pomeranian is my favorite. Sorry, chat. He's just the cutest. The other ones look kind of annoyed to me, and he looks cute. But I can't like not think of the Big Lebowski Pomeranian bit.
Yeah. I know what
it's like, you brought a Pomeranian to go bowling. It's like I didn't buy him shoes, dude. Like I did. Like anyway. If you're not a Big Lebowski enjoyer, like the whole Pomeranian thing, just I can't not think of the Big Lebowski.
Which god do you think's got a better chance to come this year, Toth or Nox?
So it's an interesting question. If we're just considering like popularity, Nox is a more popular god than Toth. Right?
I hate that. Yeah. Actually, to be honest, I don't like either. Yeah. Not a big fan.
But we also are aware that like Nox is a very polarizing god.
Oh, really? Why would that be?
I think that like Loki and Nox were probably the 2 most polarizing characters in Smite 1, and then we reworked Loki so he was less annoying and it was a little bit less polarizing.
That's fair.
So I think we do have the question internally of like, if we did Nox, how much would we want to change her, or would we have to kind of bring her over more as is? And is that worth the,
be real, whenever we talk about these reworks of gods, it's always a big thing because we've done them through Smite 1 through the years. Yeah. And they have been hit or miss with the community and with us internally as well, of like how the intended changes were versus how the reality of those changes were. And it's always a debate of like what is worthwhile doing in the first place.
Well, it's like, and in chat right now, somebody says, remove the silence. It's like, well, the silence field is kind of
part
what
of
Nox
sadly.
Is, sadly, or for good, whatever, right? Depending on how you feel about the character. And it's like, I don't know. It's a question of, does she come over with that identity? And if she doesn't come over with that identity, is she popular because people like that play style, or is she popular because people like the aesthetics of the character, right?
True.
And that's always a question. Like there are some characters that chat will not believe this, but it doesn't matter if you gave them the most compelling, fun kit on the planet and they had a 70% win rate, they would still be one of the lowest picked characters in the game because their aesthetic does not resonate with people.
Doesn't make you want to play it.
Doesn't make you want to play it, right? It's like when, like, I'm a weirdo, and when I first started playing Street Fighter 2, I saw like Blanca, like
Blanca was one of my go-to.
That's what
made me go, I want to play.
Do I want to be like like karate guy, or do I want to be a monster? Hell yeah, I'm gonna be a monster, right? Like I was like, and it just was like, this is the character I want to play, right? But like that emotional reaction to, I like the way that this character exists, the way they look, and the fantasy of them is honestly like a million times more important for how much they're played.
When I started playing Smite 1, Bakasura, the death metal skin?
Yeah.
That was the first skin I ever purchased, where I saw Bakasura and that was the first character I tried to learn.
Yeah, that was a really cool skin. Yeah.
For some reason, I just saw that and went, I want to learn to play this character, and then realized he was awful. Yeah. Like in that meta period and stuff like that. But he was definitely a very specific sort of character, but that drew me in just like Blanca. Yeah. Crazy.
Blanca confirmed 2026. Yeah, probably not, but
hey, listen, those crossovers would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
I mean, if WWE could do it, right? Like, come on.
Dude, I've had more people reaching out to me about crossovers recently. We just haven't had time to get to do it, right? But Yeah, I have to respond to an email from
I
somebody.
saw someone like Ruby tweet something recently as well. I did some sort of announcement recently as well. So
I
there are
think
more
the
people
ownership
like
of that went back to like the original guy or something.
Gotcha.
So they're starting to talk more. What? Well, this is how many gods would be considered hard to port over. I'm just a fan, not a game designer, so I'm really curious. I think more like I don't know, like how many. There's always kind of tiers, and different gods are difficult for different teams.
Teams is the big thing.
I think that like some of the harder ones that we're just like that are on our list that we're like we're nervous about doing these, right? Arclena with her wall technology, that's just going to be a lot of bespoke tech that we don't have right now, and it's going to be a hard thing to do and make work right. We have like Oleron and Bakekujiro with their time dilation. Time dilation is not something that we have right now. So again, that's a big arc of work to make sure that it works properly. We have King Arthur's
been there for a minute, which is something that the community's aware of.
Like data mining keeps being like, oh, King Arthur's coming tomorrow or whatever, whatever. But we really need to get some of our movement tech, just like the core movement stuff in the game, feeling a little bit better before we bring him over, because he has some unique things about the way he moves, and it just wouldn't feel good to play him without some more like core foundational changes. And then some gods are just like difficult for other reasons. Like for example, Tiamat. Tiamat has like 2 stances and like 8 abilities per stance. And so and then like 3 things she can summon, right? So that's just a huge art lift to do, because you have to do a lot more effects. In addition to design needing to implement a lot more abilities, plus you need to do more models. It's just a lot to do a character like that. According to our metrics, who is the easiest god we still have to port? I think that we have said that one. Well, so there's again, it's different for different teams, right? But like 2 of the ones that would theoretically be the easiest if we just brought them over exactly as they were.
1 for 1 almost,
are Habwa.
Okay.
Very simple kit, right?
Yep.
The challenge with Habwa is the art side, because the models are a little bit old in a way that we might want to do a little bit of an update to. And also there is a very strong argument in the community where there's a percentage of the player base who say that he is unplayable when he's not on his surfboard skin.
Yeah, I've heard that discussion before as well.
And so
visually, aesthetically, is it camera height? Is it just related to something?
I don't really understand, but we realistically don't want like a surfing Habwa as the main character, and then to bring over that skin is a whole separate animation set. So that's like that makes it suddenly a lot. So
it's 2 characters almost in a weird way is what you're doing. If you were to try and do the original Habwa skin, and then also the surfboard.
So that's why he's harder than he seems, although he is like. He should be really easy. And then another one is like Vamana. Vamana is a very easy kit to bring over, right?
Small guy becomes big guy.
Yeah, a little bit harder for art because they have to do the small and the big version, but it's mostly the same. I think it's mostly just scaling. But I think that that's also one of those kits that our designers are like, I feel like we need to do something to it if we bring it over, because it's got there's a couple aspects of Vamana that are like, I have cone of instant damage. That's a very boring ability, right? I get big and I stomp on people, which is a fine, cool ability.
When Fatalis is in the game,
we never really got it into a place where it was
balanced.
Yeah, maybe that's a good word.
Not in a nasty way, just in like it's either really good and you'll run everybody down, or it's really weak and you're just running for the sustain to run away.
And then it's like, we tried the healing thing, we tried the shielding thing, we tried a lot of different things in Smite 1 with it, but those are like the 2 easiest that I can think of just off the top of my head that we chatted about.
Doesn't mean they're going to be coming soon. It doesn't mean they're going to be delayed because, for various reasons, we're just discussing through them.
Bobby, get a hold of yourself. Wow, jeez. Can we get a strength damage oriented anti-heal or make Divine Ruin adaptive? Brawlers is anti-heal, right? Yeah. So Brawlers is the strength anti-heal item.
And it's adaptive as well. It's not just strength, but it is adaptive, and it also has stats. It also has defensive stats in it as well, which is crazy. Great item. Get Brawlers. Then complain about it. It'll get nerfed. Is MLF going to get a Twitch drop skin in the next patch? I don't know, Sexy Magic Up. I'll let you know soon. I know there is a Twitch drop. I don't remember its name. You might.
Yeah, I forget what the next Twitch drop is.
I'll let you know soon.
Yeah,
It'll probably be next week. We'll just give you a quick update on that of what it is. But as usual, every other patch we're dropping a new Twitch drop skin.
Ravana is simple too. Yeah, Ravana is relatively simple. Ravana has he's got like the combo thing, which is a little bit, but he's relatively simple. Yeah. We need Camazotz. I think this is one of the few times I've seen Camazotz mentioned in this chat. Camazotz, going back to what I was saying earlier about like aesthetics.
Yeah. Monsters, right? We discussed this.
Yeah. Camazotz is one of those characters that has never been popular. He's always been like bottom 3. Doesn't mean that he's going to be the last one that we do by any means, right? Sure. But like, if we're trying to prioritize a couple more popular gods, in this little run that we're doing based on the survey that we did, probably not going to be the next god that we bring over or anything. But yeah, he was always incredibly unpopular. I think he's fun to play, but again, it's just like people, I guess, don't want to be a bat.
I forget what next week we'll be talking about the next.
Yeah, Charon.
Okay.
Yeah. And I will say, like, I'm not sure how much, like, I think this might end up being the long-awaited, slightly like less in this patch.
Oh, is it? Okay.
We've had just a lot of like
and now this
bangers of patches in a row, right? And I think that like this next one we might end up being kind of more of like we have Charon and
we've been doing stuff behind the scenes,
a couple skins, but not a lot that's actually shipping in this update. So just an example, like the anti-lever stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting much or any of that to actually ship in this update now.
Yeah,
because we got started on a little bit late because I was out sick, and then we got caught up fixing Xbox and doing some other stuff, and it just hasn't made as much progress as we had hoped, right?
This is a good example of something that, like, listen, we want to announce as soon as we can. Things are coming, but there is going to be delays at times. So
I mean, it's like we have a lot of stuff that we're working on, but it's just like I don't think that we're actually going to have a ton of new stuff other than Charon in this next update, just to set expectations properly. Charon's pretty cool though.
Yeah, we've been playing him a lot behind the scenes. People will be able to see him next week, but he's looking great.
Can we show the survey results, or is that confidential? So we don't want to give out the exact survey results for the only reason that, I guess for 2 reasons. First reason is I think it sets up the expectation of like either we're immediately going to do this god or we're never going to do this god because of
this one survey.
And then if we do decide to do a less popular god,
why would they take over this one?
Why would you do that instead of this other one that's more popular, clearly, right? Or if we decided to do I think that it just opens up a little bit too much argument because it's not the sole factor that we're looking at, right? Popularity matters, but also how we can fit the gods into our schedule in terms of like what departments they're going to impact and what departments have bandwidth to work on certain things. And also just like, there's a little bit of just like feel to it where it's like, maybe I don't really have the exact example, but like if the most popular next assassin is an assassin that plays very similar to our last assassin,
we want to do those back to back.
Right. We might try and find something that has a slightly different play style or a different like look or So there is a little bit of just like, what makes sense from that is more art than science. So we definitely are considering this survey. The survey's been really helpful for
sure.
us.
We've seen adjustments already, I feel like, in the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
And, we'll be talking about, future gods to come down the pipe as soon as we get through Charon the next. So you'll see, like, there has been continued changes towards what we've been looking at internally based off that data.
Yeah. So this person says there'll be argument regardless if we show the results or not.
Very
This is true.
Yeah.
But I feel like people get more...
Because there's data to back it up. That's part of the reason. Like, giving people data is useful, but at the same time, that data can then be used against you of like, well, listen, everyone said these are the top 10 gods, and you have only imported 2 of these. Hi-Rez, what are you doing? What are you thinking? And there's just more to it than just the raw data.
Can we get more gods into the versus AI pool? This is something that we want to do, but it's not something that is going to happen immediately. So one of the things that we're doing right now is we're working on, I'm not a designer, so I don't have the exact words for here, but I want to say like, we're moving from a state tree system to something else. Basically, there's 2 different ways of handling character AI in Unreal.
Okay.
All of our old Godbots used the old tech.
We're going to new tech.
And we're experimenting with the new tech to do certain things right now.
Okay.
So I think that like Morgan Le Fay's clone uses the new tech. And I think that like the goal is that once we use this new tech, it will be better.
Right, sure. Because we're going to use new stuff we're trying to improve is really the reason for that.
So, and it also, it's like quite time consuming to do a God in the old tech. I don't know if it's actually faster in the new tech, but the new tech will at least be better. And it's like, doing more gods in the old tech versus
updating the tech
to the new tech
makes more sense.
Yeah, so that's kind of why we're behavior trees are sad, state trees are happy, says Pon Pon. So we're moving from behavior trees to state trees.
Okay.
I am not a scientist.
Does that matter?
But thanks Pon for the clarification there.
We do love happy trees.
Yes. I think if Set was added, the Falcons would go to the Super Bowl. I think you are misled. I think that
I don't know what character is.
I don't think anything's going to make the Falcons go to the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, I mean,
looking grim.
Yeah, don't have a quarterback for probably the first 4 weeks of the season. You know, the most promising rookie player gets arrested for.
Yeah.
Did you see that whole stuff?
I saw some of the
God, dude! Like, rough offseason for the Falcons, but it's okay. At least we got Bijan, yeah. And I think the new coach will be okay. I don't know.
But did we lose Algier, though? So, like, it's not great.
Yeah, it's not going to be great. But they'll be fine. It's
what it is.
It's, at least I don't have to hear, we'll find a way one more time. So that's really the positive for the next Falcon season. And I right now, my sports hopium is the Hawks just got Jonathan Kuminga, who was he was a high draft pick for the Warriors, but him and the coach of the Warriors just like didn't get along, so he didn't play him. And in the 2 games that he's actually played for the Hawks, he's looked really good. Cool. So I'm like, maybe there's a future for the Hawks. I don't know.
The world of Atlanta esports.
My one last sports thing.
Atlanta esports.
This is not Atlanta sports related. This is just a sports thing in general. IndyCar is back this weekend. I'm a big race guy, and IndyCar is back this weekend. If you want to watch some cool car racing, they're racing in St. Petersburg, Florida. And if you are a Formula One person.
That's next weekend, isn't it?
No,
it's March.
I don't know when it starts. But I was going to say, Mick Schumacher is going to be racing in IndyCar this year.
IndyCar stuff?
Yeah. So if you want to follow how he does, that's a fun thing. Also, there's a lot of drama. Will Power is changing teams after a long time with Penske. Anyway.
So into your Daytona. So into your NASCAR. I follow NASCAR a little bit more than I do the
NASCAR trucks are racing at St. Petersburg too this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting because it's the first time that the trucks have raced on this course, and it's a street course.
Okay.
So I don't know how well they're going to do getting around it. It's a pretty tight course, but it'll be fun to watch.
Wouldn't it be nausea to get the next Twitch drop as there were before Morgan? There's no complete order to when you guys are going to get and what characters will get the Twitch drops. You will get a Twitch drop. That's all we'll say at this stage. But it's wherever we can fit it into the pipeline and what makes sense to us.
Imagine thinking cars going in circles is entertainment. Bro, you're in a chat for a video game. Like, I mean, come on.
That's fair. To be honest, though,
people have fun doing different things.
I get that take. Like, before I moved to the US, I actually looked at NASCAR, and actually, I really played a little bit of iRacing for a while.
Yeah, it's fun.
And NASCAR driving and, like, going around in circles, at first, you're like, this is stupid. But actually, when you do it, it's a lot more to it than just going in a circle. Like, drafting and picking the right lane. And
it's
a lot of stuff that just go into it.
And, are you familiar with, I think it's called Channel 5. It's like a YouTube thing of this guy who, like, he like goes to different things and makes like kind of semi-documentary videos about it. He did one where he went to the Indy 500 and he's interviewing this like really drunk guy in the infield, and he's like, "We're gonna go real fast and real left," and it just like
real left. That's
it
true.
just made me crack up.
It's true.
So yeah, I don't know. It's a fun time, man. You just gotta have fun. So many left turns. I know. Real fast and real left. Every time I watch an oval race, that just like comes to my mind. Anyway, the stars are small. Yeah, so we definitely have seen some feedback about mastery stars being a little bit small in certain cases. I'm going to take a look at that. I think the overall, it's a step in the right direction, but there's maybe a little bit of cleanup that we need to do. I think the feedback we've seen the most is that the stars on the SMITE 1 badge in certain star counts can get a little bit misaligned. and maybe are a little bit too small or mispositioned or something. So we're definitely gonna take a look at that. Again, we've been trying to solve this stupid Xbox issue for like 2 days now.
Yeah.
So we've not done as much UI stuff otherwise as we would like to do. But yeah, it is on our list to look at the stars again. Any news on whether we were considering moving servers from Japan to Singapore? We actually did this last week.
I saw you mention it internally, but I don't know any follow up on that or.
Yeah. So so far I haven't run any analysis to see if it's been good or bad. I haven't heard any comments from the community as to whether things are better or worse.
Oh, so that's happened?
It happened. Yeah,
okay.
It happened.
I wasn't sure it was something. I'm pretty sure it was this week that it kind of got brought up and you raised it. I didn't know it had already been switched.
Yeah, I asked one of our ops guys and he was like, "Oh yeah, I can do that super quick." And it turns out it's actually like this.
This is the part of the job that you don't know sometimes. It's like sometimes you'll ask someone and go, "Is this complex?" And they're like,
"He's like,
good.
oh yeah, it'll take like a couple hours."
Like,
and then he's like, "And actually, I think it's cheaper to run servers in Singapore. So if it's better for people and it's cheaper for us, win-win."
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see when this actually. I asked him on the 23rd, and they went live 4 days ago. Okay. Whenever that was. So yeah.
Cool.
So hopefully that's a good experience for people. Let us know, and I'll take a look on our side and see metrics-wise if we're seeing any changes, but I just haven't looked yet.
Please do something more serious about AFK and levers. We've already kind of discussed the lever penalty stuff that we are working on, like a version 2.0 to an extent of doing that, and there is always stuff happening in the background. I think the one thing the community really, it's really hard to explain, but there's no instant gratification we can realistically give you to go, hey, that person that was literally just got that game with you has been punished. It's just, we're not physically going to be able to do that at all. And it does need a manual review. If we just automated the whole system there, a lot more people would feel frustrated at getting a potential one because somebody reported them in the game. If there is 10 people in the game and you get one report in that game, should you be suspended against somebody that has had, 9 reports in that game, let's say? There's a bit of a difference and a correlation there. I know that it's frustrating when you get AFKs in the game and levers in the game. We do tackle them, though. We really do.
And we do also, as part of the work that we're doing, we plan to have better...
feedback almost,
better feedback on what's happening, and also just better detection of AFKs. Because there are certain things that we can automated tell you are AFKing that we aren't detecting right now. And I'm not gonna say exactly what those are because I don't want people to abuse them. But
and as a follow up to that too, by the way, if we find people, because I find them, if we find people that are trying to navigate some of those systems to not look AFK when they're AFK, their punishments go up. Just so you all know, it does happen. But yeah, it's not something we are aware of. It always will be a thing with a free to play game too. People can make accounts, and some people will take it more seriously than others. And we, at the end of the day, we will try and navigate that all the time as much as we can.
Vafi, you have sent me down a rabbit hole here. I saw you. I don't know if you were the one who asked this question, but somebody asked this question in the ambassador chat, asking what they asked was, who's the highest level in the game? Who are the top account levels? And then also,
you talked about this before.
Yeah, we were talking about this right before the show. And they were also asking, who's the highest worshiper account or worshipers on every god?
Yeah.
Right? And, who are the top 10 or whatever? And I was like, oh, this will be a fun, easy thing for me to throw together a query and do. Yeah, whatever. Dude, it's been, I haven't been working on it, all morning, but I've been working on it kind of, off and on here and there. And some of the intricacies of way things route together in our database are a little bit annoying sometimes. I got a list of the top. So the two things that I had to connect together. One of them was I can get just the number of worshipers, but then translating that into account level is just an extra step that's annoying. But the other thing that is the thing that I'm stuck on right now is that all of the top worshiper or top account XP accounts in the game. Are our bot accounts. Because the bot accounts play thousands of games a day, right?
Yeah, there's going to be someone that's in there, though, I want to say, that's probably higher.
So I need to find a way to exclude all the bot accounts to get the actual real players' data. So I'm pretty close. I think I may be 20 minutes more work away from it, but I was almost done before the show, and then I had to come on the show. So it's probably Chris. I think Chris is level 247 or something.
I will say my name will probably appear on that list because I know me and support broke my account. I believe in game it's set at 151, but at the end of a match lobby, you know when it says the account level, mine goes up constantly and will like continue. I mean, I've left it on the AFK screen. I've been AFK, but 500, 600 for me, due to us testing experience levels on accounts. So don't know how that got broke, but that happens to me all the time.
Oh, Lovato's 334. Oh, Chris has got some competition. He's got to start playing more.
We should do it. We should do something. First person to hit 500 get something.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yep. So really far down the line of like this.
But yeah, I'll get the full list once I have it. I'll share because I don't think that's something that like people will. I don't think you can abuse that in any way, right? I don't think.
Oh, you can mock the person. That's
why would you? You're gonna mock the person who is the highest level?
Yeah.
That's cool. I wouldn't mock them.
There's so many games. Like, come
I know.
on.
I'd be like, dude, that's sick. Like,
there is,
Okay.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, that's a lot of games. Anyway, yeah.
You better be number one in the world if you're that many. If you're that deep, you're that far ahead.
He's the number one Athena in Arena. I think.
Oh, Chris.
Lovato.
Lovato. Okay.
Pretty sure Lovato is. Anyway, but yeah, we'll see what the numbers are. I feel like I could share that. I don't know. Maybe people will be upset about it.
There won't be really anyone upset about it. It's our data anyway. We can share what we want, right? Yeah.
Can we add a way to disable shadows? Maybe. I don't know. I will say, like, just in general, we're looking at some more performance stuff.
Yeah.
Just, I think the arena being a lot less performant than we had thought it was going to be has just let us kind of going into the performance rabbit hole a little bit more.
Yeah.
It is a constant fight. There is no low-hanging fruit where we can just snap our fingers and the game's 20% more performant or anything. But I will say, like, we're going to look at options and see what we can do there. Kilcoon and Hindu Man, would you like a simple homemade tuna sandwich?
I love tuna sandwiches.
Tuna sandwiches are pretty good, yeah.
Pretty random.
Yeah, it's a weird question.
What is the chat today?
I don't know.
It's
a festive Friday.
It sends us down rabbit holes of like, we're not really talking as much as we normally do about stuff. Excuse me for the sniffles, but I don't know why I'm just dying today again. Never ends. How much longer is the plan to be in beta? I don't think we really have a timeline.
No. I mean, I think that like we feel like there's just still a lot of things that we want to do and know we can do to make the game better.
Yeah.
And there's we don't have any like outside pressure to
force it to
force it
full release,
right?
Sure. I always wondered why the community wants us out of beta so badly. That's what I just don't understand. My personal take is just understanding why people are like, why are you still in beta? I'm like, why not? Like that's my kind of feedback on that.
We're still working on it, right?
And
I think that like it's important to be clear with the community and potential new players about the state of the game. Yeah. Right. I think that I think that like we're closer to the point where if we didn't have the beta tag and people came in and played the game, they wouldn't just be like, this game's a pile of shit. I think they'd be like, oh yeah, I see it, but it's not great. It's not like, it doesn't feel done. I think some people
because we get feedback all the time, like UI needs changing, this gameplay needs changing, feels need changing.
Yeah. So I think that like, we definitely, we don't have a firm date for it. I do see the one comment of Wash saying out of beta means I get text chat. Yeah, that is a good point. Like, because we probably won't get to console text chat until then. So that is a fair point.
And there's a big hang up for sure.
For sure. But yeah, we definitely, I think we still have a ways to go. Super Bowl 51 Smite 2 commercial. We talked about this, how expensive a Super Bowl commercial is. And I think it's more for like mass market products. I think that like there's not enough people watching the Super Bowl that could potentially want to play Smite 2.
We don't know though.
We don't know. But
that
I
could
feel
be an
like
investment.
We know. I feel like we know.
We could try.
Will Charon be showcased on Wednesday of next week? Yep, that'll be Wednesday. And somebody else asked about when the next roadmap is. Next roadmap will be after we show off Gilgamesh. So we'll talk about kind of the next.
Got Charon, Gilgamesh, and then we'll talk probably around that time.
Yep.
About the next ones after.
And I might end up just doing like kind of I kind of like that this overlapped with like the buy all season.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So after this buy all wraps up.
Yeah.
We know people really like the buy all thing. So we're going to try and do it again. We've talked about this before. We aren't going to have another saga ready to go immediately. So we're probably just going to have like kind of like a short mini season buy all where it's just like, for a cheaper price, you can buy like 3 or 4 patches of things.
Buy them all in one go once again.
Yeah, so we might do like a shorter roadmap or something that's aligned to that, and then kick off another bigger roadmap around the next the next like bigger buy all event.
Sure.
Because I kind of like that format. I think it almost feels more like a season of
It's almost like attach them together. Yeah.
Bum schedule still bug should, as of like 8 or 9 o'clock, well, probably like 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, should not be bugged anymore.
Correct.
If it's still bugged, please let us
finding
know.
it currently in your games, report it, but we should be getting a lot of signs of that.
It's cow still bug, should not be bugged. Everything should be fixed now.
Papa's literally checking
yes,
live
thank
for
you,
everybody.
Pom.
Are roadmaps going to be 4 God reveals, or were you just confident to reveal the next 4 last time?
Yeah, last time again, because I was kind of trying to tie it to the length of the buy all event, and make it be like this is like a season, you know.
Sure.
Because we aren't immediately starting into the next like big buy all event, I would expect the next one might be a little bit smaller of a roadmap, just because I think that it will align with that part of the game.
I'm being real. This is behind the scenes talk as well. Like, I know there's gods that have moved or are still potentially moving on the roadmap in the next few months. So it's always scary for us to go, this is what's next, and then we want to pivot or change that. It would be a lot of frustration for the community too.
Yeah, there's one god that's on a roadmap right now that requires a decent amount of tech to go with it.
Yeah.
Right. And so we also have like a backup god in case we don't get that tech done. And it's like, if that god falls on the next roadmap, then
has to happen in a weird way.
Does it have to happen, or does the community lose their mind if we, say it's going to be and then it's not?
Yes, that's the answer. So,
finally, Fenrir after Gilgamesh. Good job.
One day with Fenrir.
Will we be getting the Pride flags back anytime soon? They're unobtainable in the store, and I know some people that really want them, and we'll be able to get some more flags as well. So right now we just have all of the flags from SMITE 1. We going back and adding more flags. It's one of those like maybe at one point, but I think that like that was, at one point in time, that was a good swath of flags, and hard to know what to add and not to add for me, at least. There's probably somebody
with different countries and stuff like that.
Yeah. The Pride, and we don't have a way of like directly, there's nowhere in the store to directly sell like badges. Like we can't sell badges from within the badge section of the store. We just don't have the tech for that, which sounds dumb, but it doesn't exist.
Sure.
So when we sold them, we had to put them on like the featured store page. For like, I think we charged like 1 wandering market coin or one. It was very inexpensive, right? Because the goal wasn't really to charge for them, but just we needed to have a place for you to acquire them, right? And as of right now, that's the only place that we can put them, that you can get them. And that featured market, that featured deals page or whatever is kind of like premium real estate. So we just don't want to like always have it sitting there. We'll definitely rotate them back on. We're not opposed to them. Sure. We don't want people to not be able to acquire them or anything. It's just, it's valuable real estate, and we don't want to constantly have them there.
Papa says Cudgel seems fine now. So
okay.
That's good. Do you guys have a god that is your arch enemy, like someone you see and you know it's going to be rough for you? Giannis for you? Really?
Dude,
every time trying to get to him and chase him, is that the issue?
It's both that like good. Like I feel like whenever I'm against Giannis, it's like the best Giannis in the history of the world, and it's just always on the edge of range, and like you finally have him through a wall, it just does not make me happy.
I guess Ares is probably the one for me that's probably the most frustrating to do. A really good Ares player really just locks you down and you don't get to play the game much.
That's fair.
Although nowadays the Sylvanas being able to pull spam at certain points can be a little bit frustrating.
Yeah.
But most of the time he's not doing enough damage to really kill me. I'm a support main, so for the most part I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You're hitting me, you're not hitting a carry. I'm okay with this.
So it's a good idea, but maybe with unintended consequences. So it would be cool to find or earn wandering market coins in matches, like how Helldivers has currency sprinkled in the maps that you can go pick up. So
okay.
The risk of this, right, is that you get people who are not playing the competitive PvP game and instead are trying to pick up currency that matters, right?
Yeah.
And I know that we've done some of these events where it's like you pick up an egg or something, right?
Yeah.
But those are pretty limited.
They're a bit more inconsequential than like, actual currency.
And once you're done with it, you don't need to keep picking it up, right? It's like once you've hit the event limit. So I think that like there's too much of a risk in my mind, at least, of players like just not playing the game.
A good example of this, if we just go to the real high level, imagine if there was just diamonds on the map that you could walk on. Like if we take diamonds and put them on the map and went, hey, you can find diamonds in your game. You're going to fight over the diamonds more than you're going to fight in the game in a lot of regards.
What's with the worshiper boosters? I assume you guys didn't mean to include it in this update. No, we did not mean to include that in this update. Yeah. So I was talking with both. So Blake is like our other like monetization database guru who does setting up a lot of the game. Guru. Yeah, amazing guy, a ton of stuff. Like the whole team, but and Blake and I were talking about this, and we were trying to figure out like what we should price this at, and we hadn't decided on what the price was going to be for this update, and we were like, and we'll get to it next update. It's not going to go in this update. And then somehow it
was left on.
It was left on in a way, so it is in this update. So they will. I think it'll be more actually on next update.
Okay.
But TLDR on it is that like we are adding a worship booster that you can buy in the pre-match lobby.
Yeah.
It's 2x worship booster. It's only for that one game. And the idea of this is it primarily to give people that have a lot of legacy gems that are looking for something to spend legacy gems on another opportunity to spend your legacy gems. So I believe the price that we settled on, and please don't crucify me if this is wrong, but I'm pretty sure the price we settled on is it'll be 300 legacy gems or 100 diamonds. We don't really expect anybody to buy it for 100 diamonds, but that's just if you...
An opportunity.
If you want to,
you can.
And in a pre-match lobby, one person in the lobby can purchase a 2x worshiper booster for the lobby, or for a team, so not for the entire lobby. One person on each team can purchase one, and it gives you 2x worshipers for that match. So the thought was like, we wanted to feel like, somebody says a fair price. We were trying to find a price that felt like, we're not trying to like, make it feel like an awful thing that you don't want to spend your legacy gems on. We want to make it feel like there was enough value to it that you might want to do it. But it's
we got that subject now, make buying wards give you 1 diamond. I'm like, wow.
I have this. Nobody internally likes this pitch, and it'll probably never happen. So I shouldn't talk about it.
Do it anyway. You've said it, and you're giggling about it, and chat's like, "Come on, we gotta know now."
No, so I have this. Like, you've played like Call of Duty or Delta Force does a really good job of this. Where basically like every little thing that you do in the game is like
towards an achievement.
It just gives you like points,
right?
It's like somebody used your ammo pile. You got 10 points. Like you healed an ally. Like suppression assists, 20 points or whatever. Yeah. And it's just this like constant feed of like dopamine score, like dopamine score, well. Right? Yeah. And I would love to have like person revealed with your ward, and just like have this constant like score feed of like
a combat. Are we talking like in a combat log like chat almost?
Yeah, it would just be like a feed of like constant input. Yeah, because
you healed a teammate for fun.
Because like your initial feedback was like dopamine hit, right?
Well, that's first what I see. If I see all that data coming through, I'm like, oh, this is kind of like a reward symbol of like, you're doing good.
And that what I think the benefits of it is that like I think it helps teach people like the things that you should be doing because you want to see, you want to do the things that are rewarding, right? It's like, oh, I get points that don't matter every time I reveal somebody with a ward. Hell yeah, right? Like, I think like things that we want to incentivize, behaviors that we want to incentivize, that we don't want to be like, we're actually going to give you in-game gold or we're going to give you, out of game diamonds or, whatever, right? Like we could have just this extra like score that doesn't matter, that
just there.
It's just there, right? But like, nobody internally really likes this idea other than me, so I don't think it's probably ever going to happen. It would be a lot of work to do
because when you take it to a MOBA, when you take it to a MOBA, and you think about the things like the ward example for you of like when you step on a ward, you're like, hey, you revealed someone in a ward. When you know you're getting that, and you want to get more of those, then you just put wards in lane, or you know what I mean. Or like there's going to be abuse cases a lot more with things like that.
But if it doesn't mean anything, then do you care if people are abusing it?
Some people will because they'll want to say, hey, look at me, I'm the best at this because I got so many people revealed on wards. That's just one random example.
Anyway, that's just that is. I have a lot of dumb ideas.
Could be a tracker. People are saying,
one of my dumb ideas. Won't PTS spoil the God after Gilgamesh? The next roadmap.
Sometimes
should
it
be before
does.
Gilgamesh. Yeah.
That's my answer to that
Maybe.
one. The amount of times it's like, hey, did we turn that off? Whoopsie, here we go. Like,
Maybe it'll actually be the show before Gilgamesh instead of
Yeah.
afterwards. It depends. But, you know, we'll see when we get closer. Body block teammates to death tracker. We definitely don't want to incentivize that. That's not... But again, on the score feed, you could have like, you know, if your role is support, you could have like, you know, absorbed a shot that was going at your teammate. Like, could be something that gives you a score feed, right? And that's not something that we want to give you gold or experience for in game, but it can be something that you like, you know. I mean, here's a little notification.
Stuff like that. Let's just say like an Anhur Impale going to connect with a teammate and you body block it.
Yeah,
that is some sort of feedback that says, hey, the person behind you did get saved, like it was going to hit them. Is a cool little annotation for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a fun idea, but like I said, it's a lot of work to do, and it's one of those things that it's like
the work for the reward is also the secondary stuff of that too. Where I'm like, yeah, we could do it.
How do we plan to tackle intentional role swaps to give somebody a better passive? So our goal is that none of the passives should be
that overbearing.
Yeah, we don't want that to become the meta. If that becomes the meta, then we're more likely to nerf a passive or change a passive than to, you know.
That's exactly what Potter said regarding that system of like, listen, if we're seeing, and the role that's really coming up between this, by the way, currently is just mid and carries are the real two. The jungler and support roles, realistically, as people have been discussing, it will stick with them because it makes sense for their roles. However, the mid and the carry position, Pon has mentioned that balance adjustments will be made if we start to see that as being more of a bigger focal thing of people attempting to do it more often because they feel it's more strength. At the end of the day, it's a MOBA. And that's the one thing of a MOBA is that people are always going to try and go, what is the cookie cutter, best go-to build, most optimal? And when they do that, most of the time, the next most optimal build is actually better than this build because you're building that build. That just has a knock-on effect in MOBAs. Yeah, it's always counter-building to build. So.
I think that, like, this is a very, like, Magic the Gathering is very much the same way, right? Where people are like, I will play the top net deck that has won the most recent tournaments, and I will be good at the game, right? But like one of my favorite Magic streamers is this guy Aspiring Spike, and he plays Modern. It's a format in Magic, and basically every stream he has some new deck that's like off meta, weird idea, and he usually does pretty damn well with his new weird decks because he's a good player. Sure. Right.
Overall, there's a core,
and you can. There are a lot of strategies that can work in everything except for like the top 0.1% of the game. Right, and so many people are slaves to the meta of like the
most optimal,
the top which is 0.1%. When like really at the level that most of you are playing at, and this is not a dig at you, but at the level that most people are playing at, just like playing the game well and hitting your abilities and you buying wards is far more important than like, oh, you built Spear of Desolation third instead of second. Oh, well, you deserve to lose. Like, that's not my
argument with that. Like the most optimal build. If it was the most optimal build, that person would win every single game 100%, and that would be the cookie cutter way to play. But that's just not the case. Even the top teams that played in Smite Prime or whatever do not win every single time. There's a consistency of like being quite high win rate, but at the same time they don't always win, and they're not always the same build, the same start point, the same god. You know, there's always going to be. And that's the thing about MOBA. It's like, in my mind, I've always said, like, MOBAs for me have always been a chess game where the pieces are always evolving. Like, the chessboard is the same, but there's, like, multiple queens sometimes, or kings, you know? Like, it's still, the base level's still there to the game,
though. How's the breakdown go for the account booster? If everyone in the lobby has one. So, if you're talking about the new booster, only one person on each team can buy one, and it only affects your team.
So, it's just the first one to...
Yeah, first one to buy it. And I'm not sure if it's additive or multiplicative.
That was going to be a question I was expecting to ask you off air because I wasn't sure if we knew about it.
Because there's two other kinds of boosters in the game, right? There's the 30-day or 3-day account level booster, right, which continues to work the way that it always did. And I believe that's 20% or 40%. I think it's 20%.
Yeah.
And then there's, but it lasts for a longer period.
We do a wish per weekend.
And then we'll do like a double wish per weekend. So I'm not sure if it's multiplicative or additive. That's the way we again, we're going to check before it accidentally went live, but that's, you know,
all being well.
Yep. How does it work with multiple 30-day people? So there's a part that's shared of the 30. If you look at the website or the actual like page in game where you buy it, it explains exactly how it works. So all the details are on that page in game. I don't remember the exact percentages off the top of my head, but if you go to that page in game, it explains it.
We have offensive items that deal damage based on target's max current health and user protections. Can we get an item that does damage based on users' max health? That's more for the devs to really
your own max health.
But your own max health. I think the problem with, and this is my personal just take of, like, if I've just built like 5k health, for example, that is consistently doing a ton of damage.
Doesn't knock up on boar do that?
What boar?
Or not boar. The item that turns you into a pig and you go forward.
Hexstone?
Yeah, Hexstone. Doesn't the damage that does based on your health?
It might be. I've not even looked at. Listen, I don't think about that. It's a CC immunity runaway thing, or like engage. I don't think of it of like, oh, it's doing damage.
Yeah, I think the damage on that is scales based on your health, but I'm not sure. Dude, where's Flare Boot when you need him? Yeah,
it's definitely more of like the actual devs like Pawn or Clumsy to answer something like that one. I think it's a possibility, but I also know that comes with additional issues of the amount of damage you can potentially do with this item consistently and like how it affects. First we had Typhon's Fang, now we have Typhon's Heart. Will you keep adding Typhon items so that once we have 6 of them, you'll add him as a playable god? That's
pretty good.
I like that.
Typhon has come up a lot.
I mean, Manticore was one of those characters once upon a time. I was like, you ever going to do him? And we did.
Typhon does come up a lot on the fan surveys of like a god that we should do sometime.
You know who I really miss that we just don't talk about? Denton.
Yeah,
Denton. Denton was a real throwback, you know. I think a lot of people loved him back in the day, and some of the newer players won't even know who that is.
No,
but what a character.
Old Denton. Yep.
I have the Denton skin. True, I forgot he got a Denton skin. I forgot we gave him
one. Excuse me. Now everybody's talking about Denton. There's also I was looking at ward skins yesterday.
Yeah.
And there's a ward skin in Smite 1 that's like a Denton ward skin.
Is it just the head?
Yeah, I think it's just the head. It's like, it might be a balloon shaped head or something.
Yeah. That rings a bell.
When is our next god survey? I don't know. Eventually. I think that like the data that we have is pretty all-encompassing of the existing gods, and we have like kind of head-to-head matchup data for them all.
Yeah.
So there's not really a pressing need to do another one because I think the data is going to stay pretty fresh for a while. I would say probably sometime mid-year we might do another one just to make sure that we're still on
once
track.
We've released so many, it's kind of a case of, okay, now that we know these ones are there, which ones would you prioritize next? Even if they were, I expect the data would be very similar.
Yeah.
Is my expectation.
How's Kuzenbo coming? Still dropping tonight? Definitely not dropping tonight. No. How tall are we? I seem like a giant. I'm like 6'1". I'm not.
I'm like 5'9". Yeah. I'm not 5'10", 5'11". I don't know. Under 6 foot. That's what I'll say. And round.
You know who is massively tall? Like Stu is a very tall person.
Oh, Stu. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Stu in forever, but like he's
just what a name.
Huge. Yeah, he's just like
neck cracks.
Him and
is what I would say.
And
I stay at a distance when I talk to him because it makes it easier to have a conversation than be close.
Looking up at him. Who else was also very tall is Thunderbrush. Used to be on Paladins. I think he's on Predecessor now. But we worked together when he was on Paladins. And very tall guy.
Well, we're at 1:59, so I guess it is time for one
more question. Sorry, I was looking at chat.
No, it's okay. I also feel like we've discussed stuff today, but it's been kind of low.
Oh, I think it's Kellen's birthday today. Happy birthday, Kellen.
Was it today?
I think it's today. I think it's yesterday. Was it yesterday? I thought it was today.
Happy birthday for yesterday or today, Kellen. That's what we'll say there. Shouts to Kellen. He's one of the great audio people that we have behind the scenes, always working away on making the audio sound way better. Way better.
Gotta pick a good question. It's always the challenge to wrap it up.
It's always this time that the people that didn't tune in for the whole show come in and ask a question that's been answered earlier. On the show
usually.
Trick or treat? Oh no, that was not to us. Okay, I was gonna say that's a good question. Trick or treat? Done. Move on. Trick.
I'll go treat. Any CC reduction items in the future? I think that this is a request that we've heard of. There's kind of a bigger past items in general that we have affectionately referred to as Pond's Patch of Terror internally.
Pond's Patch of Terror. I mean, it's not internally anymore. It's external as well for the most part.
And I think that at one point at least that was something that we were considering as part of that. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but I know that it is something that we have considered as something that could be good for the game.
The devs I've already mentioned that they're looking at itemization, short-term and long-term of adjustments, so expect to see changes as time goes on, and maybe some of the things may appear.
I need to take another one real quick. When are we getting a dedicated support team to contact and engage with for SMITE 2? We have a dedicated support team for you to contact and engage with for SMITE 2.
Correct.
Go to hi-rezstudios.com/support. I think I don't exactly remember what the URL is. And we're working on making it more obvious what you need to do here.
Better. Yes.
So from the escape screen in game now, there's a button that says support, and you can click on that at any time to go to this website. Because and thank you for Buddha for getting the link in chat here. You can go to support.hi-rezstudios.com/en, and once you're on the website, you can see a bunch of knowledge articles that explain how to fix most of the issues that people fix. And then if you're running into any problems, there's a little chat window in the bottom right, which we're actually, today, we made it so it should pop up more for people.
I mean, there's more of a notification now for the first time. I'll show this one a second.
We're blocked out.
I know. I was trying to do it. Toggle cams.
So if you go into an article or two now, and click on one of the actual articles.
Sure.
There you go. See,
that one finally.
Yeah. So once you've clicked around a couple times now, it'll pop up and be trying to give you a little more information about hey, and then yes, the first few questions that you're clicking through here, this is an AI bot that's trying to help you with the issues.
Navigate.
And it's kind of the basics of have you turned it off and back on again?
Sure.
But once you get through that, you can put in a ticket.
Yep.
Once you put in a ticket, we will respond to your ticket. We respond via email. So you have to check your email. I'm sorry. That's why we asked you for an email. That's email. You gotta put email in there. You start typing the email field.
Oh my God, I did. Okay. Fine.
But it does work. We do get back to people. If you have any issues, we're trying to make this more obvious because we saw in Steam reviews. Yeah, see, it's gotta be real. Me.com. There you go. Then
see what happens.
But it does actually work.
If this says yes, I'm gonna be really upset. By the way.
It's looked like you're looking to speak with a human agent. Would you like me to connect you with one, right? And then it will connect you to an agent, which does require you basically to put in a ticket and it'll email you, right?
Yep.
We're trying to make this more obvious and easier to figure out. We do have people that their entire job is to do support for this game.
Yeah. And they do, just to be clear. I think that's one thing that always gets brought up of do they have anyone? We really do have a team.
We work through a lot of tickets every day. It's just, you don't see it necessarily.
Yeah.
Sorry for that huge thing at the end there, but it's just, we're trying to make support more
optimal in a lot of ways. Yes. Yeah, it's a little bit easier because that information that is there has been there for the longest time, but it's not been as clear, and we are continuing to try to just make small improvements there that make it aware of how you can contact support for further feedback and to get an update on it. Yep. Just to be clear, when you do send tickets in, it doesn't mean the tickets do take a bit of a while because we do get thousands of tickets a day. The same as we have thousands of games going on a day. And the team does go through them, and there is a priority order to a certain extent on some of the tickets. But the team does review them and do get back to you, unless there's something stupid. And then you normally go to Reddit and complain that your ticket got closed. But that happens.
Yep. Awesome. Is that, Alani check. I have a Winter Wonderland Alani today.
Someone else is in the chat, but yes, it's just a hint water with a hint of blackberry. Someone's like, what's that water? But it's just spicy water, as my wife calls it.
Spicy water.
Well, no, it's normally when there's a carbonation in it.
Yeah.
We call it spicy water.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you all for tuning in today for this Titan Talk. I'm sorry it wasn't a hugely invested, but next week...
I think it was some fun questions, though.
I think so, too. It was a bit more upbeat for the most part as well. So, but yeah, make sure you enjoy the game this weekend. We'll be back, or Kilgoon will be back on Monday to talk some more, and then on Wednesday, we'll see some to do a count.
Watch the IndyCar this weekend.
And if we don't see you beforehand, we'll see you on the battleground. Goodbye.